What is algebra? Basically, it's arithmetic where you're going to use letters or symbols instead of numbers, okay? Now, it might be because you don't know the numbers, or it might be because you have several numbers to try. So these unknown values, letters or symbols, are called variables, and it allows us to express rules in a more general form, and we can take words and turn them into mathematical expressions. So, variable expression. First thing you need to realize is that when you have a letter and a number side by side, it means multiply. So 4s means 4 times s. You can still have additions and subtractions. So 5xy plus x means 5 times x times y plus x. And you can have exponents too. Negative 3m squared means negative 3 times m times m. And remember, order of operations matters if you're doing exponents. When you multiply these things together, it's called a term, okay? And the number in the front of a term is called the coefficient. Yeah, you have to know these words. So here are three variable expressions. And as I said, we want to take a look at the coefficient for each of these terms. For 4s, 4 is the coefficient. 5xy, the coefficient is 5. And that term by itself, x, is really a 1x. It's got that imaginary 1 that counts as its coefficient. If there's nothing there, it's understood to be 1. And the negative 3m squared, the coefficient is negative 3. These are called variable expressions, and the individual pieces of these things, because variable expressions are made up of terms, and they are separated by pluses or minuses. So the first one is just a single term monomial. The second one, two terms, is called a binomial, right? Separated by the plus sign. And the last one, it's a negative, not a minus, so it's a one-term monomial, right? You could have trinomials, quadrinomials, etc. What we need to learn today is the replacement property. As I said, the variable represents a number, and so sometimes I'll tell you, substitute a certain value in for the letter. So consider the equation for the perimeter of a square, all right? P equals 4s. Well, in this particular square, the side length s is 7. So you can replace that into the equation, into the expression 4s, and it gives us the equation that the perimeter is equal to 28. Then you put the units in at the end. That's called the replacement property. Now this formula, okay, when you replace it in, put it in a bracket because it's multiplication. You want to remember that. There are other expressions that aren't necessarily perimeter or area, but may have some sort of application later. And so with this one, 5xy plus x, I'm telling you to replace in x equals 3 and y equals negative 2. And the key word here is we want to evaluate, find the value. So the 3's go in for the x, and the negative 2 goes in for the y. And you calculate this out using regular arithmetic, order of operations. The one with the exponent now, negative 3m squared, I'm asking you to replace m equals 4. Now, where am I getting this 4 from? I'm just making it up, okay? The questions you have will ask you to replace different values. So you're replacing in 4 for the m, and you have to follow the order of operations, so you have negative 3 times 4 squared, which is negative 3 times 16, giving you negative 48. As I said, you have to obey the rules of BEDMAS for doing the replacement. So let's try these, okay? Question A asks you to find the value of 2a plus 2b if a is equal to 5 and b is 9. You can try that on your own. Okay, so here we go. I replaced the a with 5 and the b with 9, and that's going to give me 10 plus 18 is 28. Now, if you think about it, what is 2a plus 2b? Oh yeah, that's the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. So as I said, these formulas, okay, the equations, the expressions, all of these things come from applications in math. Now the next one is not a direct application. 4w squared minus w plus 7. We're going to be replacing in w equals negative 3. Remember, all of the w's represent the same. Watch out for double negatives. Remember, when you square a negative 3, you get a positive, and you get 46 is your answer. This is called evaluating by replacing into the variable. Next, we're going to look at different types of terms and how we can combine them together even if we don't know the value of the letters.